Howdy folks, how are y'all doing? Cub here and welcome to a new series I'm launching. It's called iPlay, where I play games on iOS, and I've decided to kick things off with one of my favorite iOS games ever. It's actually based on a series of book by a fellow named, I think, Steve Jackson. It's an adventure book series. Let me explain before we get into this. Back before kids had computers, they had these books, right? And the books would be basically adventure stories, and you were the main character, and you'd read through and it'd give you a list of options. Like, do you go into the cave or do you ignore the cave? And then based on the option, you would skip ahead to, I go in the cave. So skip to page 77 and find out what happens to your character. And it actually probably would have been a lot of fun, but now we live in the modern world. And so the folks over at Inkle have converted this into an adventure game that you can get on iOS and I believe Android. And I'll have links down below for you to, of course, go check those out yourself. But we're just going to dive right into this. It's really cool. I should note that I am playing on my iPad today because while my iPhone does have a 1080p screen, it would have been perfect. Because the controls, it is locked in a portrait instead of, you can't go to landscape. But that's fine. It leaves space over here for my face next to the screen. Now we can begin our adventure and choose either a male or female protagonist. I'm going to go with male. Being a dude, find that I can probably more easily relate to them. I'm really hoping that everything is recording the way it's supposed to because I've had a bit of a bear getting this set up. But let's see. You have walked the wilds of Kakhabad, through Kare and the spiteful backlands, all the way into Mampang. You have survived traps, thieves, serpents, and vengeful gods, and now it is here. The Crown of Kings. Tap to continue. Love the music in this game. It is said the crown was never forged, only found by Shalana the Reformer, a lowly foot soldier who became the emperor of the Eastern world. Such is the power of the crown. The air around it crackles with influence. I'm going to be doing voices, and I'm going to be trying to pronounce things correctly, so we can take it or we can wait. And this is where we determine what kind of hero we have. Are we brass and just jump in there and claim the crown? Or do we wait? We're going to wait, because we're patient people. You know, we're in no rush to get our heads sliced off. The crown sits unguarded on a pedestal of light. After so many hardships, can it really be so simple? Or is this yet another deception? Sure enough, as soon as you think it, the image of the crown begins to flicker. You turn about to see something approaching. Crap! Total Akbar moment here. And startle yourself awake. You are alone, exhausted in the little hut in the outpost settlement. Your unimaginable journey is not even a single step begun. Well, that was pretty epic. So that was a dream. We've been dreaming, and it actually Inkle presents. Steve Jackson's Sorcery. Now this is part one. There's actually 3 games. Well, there's 4 books. 2 games have been released. The 3rd one comes out at the end of March. And what's really great about these games is that they all continue one after the other. So once we finish this one, it'll sync our data up to the cloud, and when we go to the next one, it'll rain that data back down, and we get our same character, and all the choices we made in this game carry over into the next game, which is pretty cool. So we can tap our character to continue. It is sunrise. You break fast on bread and goat's milk, and collect the pack and sword from beside your bed. Let's test our blade. You pause to test the blade against your thumb. The blacksmith has done well. The edge is keen and draws a narrow line of blood. Outside the hut, you hear the outpost settlement stirring into life. Let's pray for luck. Taking a moment more, you close your eyes and raise a prayer to your spirit guide. This morning, it has the form of a panther, but what will it become as your journey begins? A great calm descends you. This is really cool. So as you progress through the story, your spirit guide changes based on the choices that you make. And I have played this before, just so you guys know, but I'm going to be taking completely different choices than what I've done before. And really, you can play this game like a million times and never get the same story, just because there's so many different things that you can do. Time then to depart. You lift back the flap of your hut and step into the early morning sunrise to review your map. Hiccups would be horrible to have right now. So we can go to the outpost settlement. Let's do some wandering. You know, let's kind of wander around a bit before we go there. We're not in any rush, right? Now, what does that accomplish? Nothing. It just means that we now have to watch my guy walk around instead of going straight to the settlement. Because you know what? We're about to begin a big journey. You know, a bunch of things are going to go crazy. We could die. We don't want to just rush right into it. Let's breathe in that early morning air. Eyes follow you as you leave the hut and walk toward the great Shamutanti Hill, our wall. The frontiers people of this tiny settlement are well aware of your mission. So do we greet them or do we ignore them? Are we the kind of adventurer that says, I'm high and mighty, I need not talk to you, peasants? No, we're not. We're going to greet them. You know, how to do, folks? You turn to them and bow. Some smile in reply, but are too afraid to approach. Others make gestures of protection. You are going beyond the wall, and they believe you to be cursed. Do I look cursed to you? You turn to them and bow. Some smile in reply, but are too afraid to approach. Others make gestures of protection. I guess they're warding me away. Stay back! I already read that, didn't I? Yeah, I already read that. A man is waiting on the path to the Cantapani Gate, the final doorway between Analand and the wilds of Kakhabad. You recognize the Sergeant of the Sightmaster Warrior. He holds out his hand. We're going to say, "Greetings, Sergeant!" To which he replies, he touches his forehead with 2 fingers. How is he going to sound? "You are almost ready," he says. "I have for you a gift from the king. 24 gold pieces. It is all we can spare at this time." And he holds out a pouch. So we can take it, we can take half, or we can refuse the whole darn thing. I guess if we're really noble, we'd refuse it. If we're really greedy, we'd take it all. If we're kind of in between, we take half. We're going to take it. Because I likes my gold. You accept the gift graciously. "Thank you. You should buy some supplies before you pass the wall," the sergeant says. "And you must collect your spellbook if you wish to use magic to aid you. We could leave it here. We're totally going to take it because magic is really important, and it's nice to have the spellbook so we can reference our magical spells. And finally, should you wish to practice your sword play, I will go one last round with you." And he points with his tall staff. It doesn't say tall. I'm improvising here. His tall staff toward the training ground. Alright, well, let's definitely go collect our spellbook. We'll go in from behind. It's just a surprise. One of the huts, set slightly back from the others, is decorated with glyphs and strange symbols. A terrible smell emanates from the doorway. This is the hut of the chief mage, who apparently does not bathe, because he smells awful. He has been preparing your spellbook for days, reading your star charts to work out which spells will be available to you in different locations in the hills and beyond. Yeah, we're totally going to go inside and get that book. You lift the flap and go inside. The mage looks up at you with a haggard, sleepless eyes and presses the book into your hands. "Do you understand how to use this?" Yes, he could give us a tutorial. If you guys play it and you want a tutorial, you can definitely do that. The mage nods. "Good." He scratches absently at his ear, which I can't do because I have headphones on. "Remember, some spells will cost you effort to use, but the ones that don't will work without a focus. Will not work. Mind you, will not work without a focus. An item of some kind. You will need to read the book to know what." So he's telling us to read the book. We can glance at it real fast to kind of show you guys how it works. So all the spells basically work by, yeah, there we go. There's the front of the book. Zap, Foff, Law. It brings up, well, you'll see later. No need to tutorialize it right now. Let's go buy some rations. We'll sneak in again behind the hut, not to scare the locals. Small traders in the settlement supply the Sightmaster warriors with weapons, armor, food, and clothing. You go over to the sergeant. You go over with the sergeant, so he's rejoined us. To a stall selling flatbreads and cheeses. 2 gold pieces per ration, the owner says. So we can buy 1, buy 2. Let's buy more. Let's get tons of this stuff. Yeah, we've got plenty of room inside our pack. Let's take 6. So that should be 12. He'll give it to us for 10. Look at that. You get a discount for buying in bulk. This is excellent. We'll buy them. We could have haggled, but we're not going to. You hand over your coin, and the man places 6 rations carefully into your pack. "You must be sure to eat every day, or you will suffer," the sergeant tells you, standing by your side. "Eating more will give you extra strength, but is not necessary." Thank you, Sergeant. Now let's actually go join the sergeant to do some training. You walk with the sergeant to the training ground, and he wraps the base of his staff in leather, I guess so he doesn't hurt us. Oh, we're in combat here, people. The sergeant's dressed very peculiar. I don't get it. "To begin," the sergeant says, "we will practice the stances. First, defend yourself against me. Defend, and nothing happens." The Sightmaster is a powerful enemy. By defending, you will receive the minimum damage from any attack he makes. The Sightmaster sergeant defends himself as well. The round is a stalemate. "I will now defend myself," he says. "Whatever attack you play will damage me, but a strong attack will use up more power. You should choose a weak attack." Excellent. So they're not going to be this easy. And so we just kind of drag him out there, and over to the left you can see our attack power. We're going to go with a low attack. In fact, he said any attack will damage him, so let's just go with a slight jab. And we've done him a little bit of damage. And combat's going to be more difficult than this because in the wild, people obviously don't tell you what they're going to do, but, you know, this guy's helping us out here. You swing, weak attack, blah, blah, blah. My next attack will be one of my strongest, he declares. But if you perform a full attack, you may overpower me, but otherwise you had best defend yourself. Well, we could totally overpower him. Charge in, sword drawn, he overpowered us big time. My next attack will be a medium one, and we do not have enough strength to do a large attack, so let's defend ourselves. Yeah, we definitely did not want to try to attack there, but as you can see, his attack will be weak. We can overpower him. Let's cut him down. Hot dog. My next attack will be low. Mine will be low too, but higher. And we've defeated him. We've done well. Let's continue. He says, you seem to remember the basics. Good. Another round? I think I've had enough training. Very good, the sergeant agrees. But if you wish to bout in earnest... I don't know why his voice has changed. Then I will warn... then I will warn you, I will not go easy on you. He indicates a wider yard where there is space for a true match. So we could do that, but I think we'll save that for later when I actually have to battle someone legit. Because it'll probably end horribly. Now you'll notice all over the screen here, it gives you options to go back. That's what those little red things are with the loops. You can rewind, so if you mess up royally, you can always go back. You reach the foot of the mighty gate. It is sealed. The sergeant places one hand on the wood. The gate has been locked for some time to deter raiders, he tells you. But you will have no difficulty. The stars in this place allow the DOP spell to be crafted. And he stands back. So obviously, time to craft a DOP spell. This is where I'm going to give you guys a tutorial on how spells work in this game. And it's actually pretty cool. It's very intuitive. So we're going to perform a DOP spell. We have some different options here. Based on where the stars are above us, it's all very mystical. We can choose HDP. The spells change based on where you are because obviously not every option is going to be available in every instance. You know, there's some instances where that would be paramount to cheating and game breaking. But DOP, we can definitely do here. DOP, open locks and doors. Cast requires 1 stamina, so we lose 1 stamina to open the door. You weave the spell. One by one, the great tumblers of the door begin to creak and groan. I'm okay. Then... the hinges turn with a noise like hail on the canvas roofs. These gates are not opened since our last champion was lost, the sergeant says. I wish you more luck than he. Perhaps you will even meet him on your travels. So I can say, I fear he is dead. The sergeant nods, peering at something on the horizon. Believe he is returning, but transformed. I hope you do not meet the same fate. And he stands back from you. Okay, so enter the gate. Together you step into the shadow of the wall. I will not wish you a safe journey to Kare, for the way ahead will not be safe, the sergeant murmurs as he peers into the distance through the open gate. The Sightmaster warriors are selected from birth for their incredible powers of telescopic vision. And you cannot help but wonder how far he can see. Maybe he can actually see the last one, and maybe he's transformed into some horrible ghoul who's going to try to eat us. Tell us what lies ahead. The path leads first to Katapani, a settlement of traders through the most are rogues and thieves. You shouldn't be there, or you should be there before the sun reaches its peak. From there, 3 routes lead to Kristanti. I hope I'm saying that right. But no single route is safe. Kakhabad is a land of devils! And beyond Kare? Cannot see so far? I'm imagining he's squinting. But once you have crossed the city port of Treps, you will enter Kakhabad. No, you won't. You'll enter the backlands. They say that day and night are controlled by forces other than the sun. And from Kare too, your progress will be... watched! It is time to go. Striding away, you pass through the gate. The faces of the folks watching your departure reveal the hopes that rest on you on your quest. The early morning air is crisp, and the rising sun paints the slopes of the shades... paints the slopes and shades of peaceful beauty, concealing the evil that lies ahead, waiting to consume your face. I'm ad-libbing a bit, it doesn't say that. Let's head out into Kakhabad. The cave continues into the hillside, then turns down a slope. The walls grow narrow on either side. You are squeezing yourself deeper and deeper into the ancient heart of Dadule.